Oh my gosh, Jay's got busted. Well, Happy New Year, my friends. Happy New Year to each and every one. I'm a little behind, but that's okay. Look, better late than never. Well, I'm Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam, coming to you in 2020. A new decade, a new year, new life. I see, a new birthday. Everything's gonna be brand new this year. Oh, everything. Well, how are you? I'm so excited. You know that I am. I've been messaging back and forth with many of you during the holiday season. So many of you have sent me such great messages and holiday wishes. And I just wished it back to each and every one. In fact, look, don't get a little teary-eyed, Jay. If you're new, this is just this is just a place that I found in my heart to just invite you into my home, into my little, my little desire to share some of the things that I like to do with you and get you to share with me. Like I say, I'm Jay, and as you can look around, this is my Knit and Purl Jam. And I'll have to link my room tour with you. I can't do it on this video. Besides, people, life gets in the way. If you still think this room is that clean, I need to get your head examined. Well, like I said, this is 2020. Happy New Year. Everybody's excited. I've been watching all kind of the different channels, YouTube channels, and different people, and the podcast, and the Vlogmas. All that was so good this year. There were some that was just over the top. Just over the top. And in fact, some of them I just binged on a lot of videos, on a lot of the YouTubers' videos. Everything was so well done and prepared and entertaining. And so that brings, well, Jay's got to put her little 2 cents in. Like I said, I got busted. I'm running a little behind, but I wanted to have more to just really show you and give you choices. You know, I like to give you choices. For those that are new, I knit. Knitting is my day job. Crocheting is my night job. So I just thought, well, why not just combine them all? Do what little bit knitting, you know, I can just fly through knitting. Crocheting takes me a little more thought. But I thought, you know what? I believe I can come up with enough projects to just share them both with you here on my YouTube channel. Now, I'm self-taught. I started to knit when I was probably around 16. I was a teenager. And my stepfather, my family, we were in the military. And so we were stationed on a small little base. And one day he brought some books home, some old magazines they were throwing out, you know, back in the day, back in the 60s now I'm talking. Not the 600s. Not the dark ages. In the 60s. And so it was an old library book in there. And of course I took to it and started trying to learn and teach myself how to knit. You know, the ever knitting long scarf. You know, you just learn how to knit. And then it was only after years later that I got married and expected my first son, Andy, that I started to crochet. I wanted to do him a little apron for his crib. And one of the first stitches I taught myself was a Catherine's wheel. So I worked that up and you know, like I say, the rest is history. I just kind of went from one to the other, put it up for years, kind of did it whenever I just felt the need or just wanted something to do here in the house, because my life journey took me in a whole different direction. I was a painter for over 20 years. Back in the day, you may have remembered in the 70s and the 80s, a little thing called Toll, T-O-L-E painting. Well, I was somewhere at a little shop one day and I saw some ladies sitting in the back of the shop, and they had, you know, just 5 or 6, and then the teacher was teaching, and I kind of moseyed back there and just kind of pretended, you know, I was looking at something else and tried to see what was going on, and come to find out, it was a painting class. So naturally I asked about it and everything, and the next week I was there. And I mean, I just went for it. It became my life's work, and I worked in toll painting. I've traveled, had my own shop. I mean, this wasn't a small thing. I spent over 20 years painting. And a lot of the people who started with me were with me at the very end. After 20 years, we spent. And, you know, this year I hope to try to share a lot of that with you. Share some examples, some of my things I have packed away. I'm going to unpack them because I really need to start. I need to start moving this stuff out of my life. 72, you know, you keep thinking, well, one day I'm going to go back to that. One day I'm going to do this. It ain't happening, people. It's just not going to happen. And I need to come to that realization and just let it go. So before I do, you know, like I've been hauling books to the library. I think I had put up a few little videos where I shared with you some of the toe painting books. When it was over and done, and after 20 years of painting, Lord, I had massive overstock of paints. I hauled it off to school after school, kindergartens, daycare centers, just anywhere I had to try to get rid of so much, and books and all of that. But I still hang on to just a little bit, which I will share with you, and then I'll have to figure out what to do. So the only reason you think, well, Jay, why'd you stop toe painting? Well, eventually the market crashed. Toe painting was in a time when people were decorating in country, in Victorian. You know, there was a lot of magazines that were out where you could order things, handmade things. And I think I have some of those magazines. I'll pull them out. Not tonight. But anyway, as the market, as people changed, people moved away, people got divorced, kids grew up, people had to get different jobs, and slowly by slowly, toll painting just evaporated. And like I said, I kept it going. I did craft shows. That was one. Not only did my shop was to teach classes, and I did that for over 20 years. Had my own shop, taught classes. Anyone you see on my video that's from my area can tell you. And but then too, I also did craft shows. I did craft shows for over 20 years. And back in the day, I don't know how it is now because I don't even go to any. I used to try to hang on and go to craft shows, different parts of the year or season. But now I don't even do that because I'm just not interested. But I mean, the money flowed, people, just like water. I made big time. I made enough. I kept myself in business. I bought a commercial property. I bought a car. Painting those blue ducks and all those funny little angels and all those fruits. Did rose mauling. I've done Bavarian painting. I've studied under big name teachers. It was a grand time. But then, as life happens, that door closed, and then another door opened. But I won't get into that tonight, because eventually it caught up to not only me, but some of my friends. We decided, you knit? I didn't know you knit. Well, I knit too. You crochet? I didn't know you crochet. Well, let's do it together. And I volunteered at senior citizen centers to teach seniors how to knit and crochet. And of course, like I said, my friends and I got together and formed groups. And we just made it a thing. I had a group on Tuesday morning, and I had another group on Fridays, and then I did the senior citizen center on like Wednesday. Every Wednesday I'd go and we'd knit and crochet. We'd have lunch. We just had a ball. And one thing led to another, and now 72. I'm on the YouTube with you. Well, like I said, this is January, and I thought, what can I do? So I thought about Jay's Knit, the Evergreen Winter Lace Cowl or Shawl. Evergreen Winter Lace Cowl or Shawl. And you might hear my heat kick on. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't some kind of interruption. My husband, the crickets, the furnace, the birds. All right, so let me just kind of give you a little bit. Now, I can't see myself, so let me just get my mirror here. Okay, so here we go. All right, so this is just a simple, I take most of my projects, like I said, I design, and I use stitch books. I've gone over and I'll go over every time I, try to design something. I try to share with you how it came to be, not just something I picked up, but how the thought went into it. So this is, isn't that a pretty pen? So this is a simple. In fact, I think I'll take it off just for a second. This is a crescent-shaped little leaf edge flounce. See, it has like a little flounce to it. Those are the leaves, the evergreens. Look at that. Just a nice little simple. I didn't make it really, really large, but you're going to be able to make it to whatever size that you like. So that's why. See, can I put it on? And of course, it can just be worn as this is the kind of thing you'd wear to, to work, to a little meeting, something you would keep. If you're a teacher, it's perfect. It's not too long. It doesn't have all that fringe or that long V in the back. So if you're sitting there at your desk and you're trying to, it's just right. Especially, like I say, if you're a teacher or someone that's really, that's moving about. This will be just right for you. And as you can see, I'm working on another one. This is why I got busted. Because I kept changing the design so many times that I wanted to work up another. And I'm going to tell you about this yarn. And then this is the one that I will be working in real time. And this, I believe this is Lions brand, A Touch of Alpaca. Yes, a little wool. It feels so funny to me. Ooh. But anyway, I decided, well, I'm a stash buster. I says, you know what? It doesn't matter, Jay. Just pick some yarn. Move it. Get this yarn. Somebody somewhere will have this yarn, and they may like this little flounce design, this little leaf design. I've done this shawl several times, a lot of times, before I got on YouTube, and I forgot about it, and I was looking through my big plastic bins, and I thought, oh, yeah. Out of sight, out of mind. But I'm back on track. So, even though I'm busted, I'm going to keep right on working. Here we go. I am going to put my little evergreen shawl back on, V it down like this, put it here, put my pen back on. Now I can't see a thing I'm doing, but I hope I'm on camera. And I'm going to give you a special invitation this year. This year, I hope to do some, no, when I had it backwards. This year, I hope to just open up about things and just share more with you. And I hope that you will not only enjoy watching, enjoy commenting, but also let me know what you think and how things in your life came about. It's good because, like I said, we just talked to this camera, but I know you're there and I know you're watching. And I thank you so much for the wonderful year you gave me in 2019. But I'm believing 2020 is going to be even better. Better for you and better for me. And my little saying this year is, God's blessings are new every day. So take what you need and then pass the rest on to someone else. What do you think of that? Well, nothing else. This is Jay. I'm glad you're here. So there's nothing else to do but let's get started on my evergreen winter lace cowl or shawl. Just for my friends. Back in just a minute. All right, let's get right into this really easy project, and I think it's going to be one that you will love to knit over and over and over in lots of different colors. As you can see, I called it, simply because of the color of the yarn that I picked out, I called it Jay's Knit, the Evergreen Winter Lace cowl, which I was kind of demonstrating, or shawl. It's just really more of a crescent-shaped shawl. As you can see here, I have it just kind of bundled up as if you were wearing it around your neck. And I have a really pretty little pin. Okay. But when you open it up, and I still have my wrong side markers, and I still have things to weave in. But I'll turn it over so that you can kind of take a look at it. And as you can see, now I'm going to just kind of pull it along, pull it from one side to the other. It starts out narrow, of course, and then we increase as I do I think it's called the Bacter style shawl, where you go start on one side and then increase up, then go across the back, and then decrease down. And it just has a little pretty nice leaf motif on the edge. I've used this stitch lots of times, but every book I get that I find it again, they always have it a different name, so I don't know what the true name of it is, but it's a little leaf, and I'll show you the book that I use. And at the top, because I'm going to give you two versions, I'm going to give you a version for people like me that are seasoned knitters, and you want a little bit of extra something to do. You know, you want something. So we would do a cable, just the cable that the book that I had reviewed. It was a book of cables, how to do some simple cables. Or this is like cabling 101. It's like simple people. It just adds interest to the shawl. So we'll tackle complicated cables on down the road. But as you can see, it's just a very simple little cable. And if I turn the shawl in the direction we're knitting, we're going to knit the shawl. Let me turn it up right here. Let me see if I'm on camera. We start on one edge, one side, and I'm going to give you my formula, and we just work back and forth knitting this this little edge. Does that make sense? We've done it before on several pieces. And as you can see, as I'm pulling it down. Now my camera, is that showing up opposite? I don't know. And there you have it. All right, let me go over just some other material real quick, and then we'll get more into depth and where to start, and of course my working formula for this easy shawl. First of all, the next thing is this is number 4 weight yarn, but this time I want you to really look for some really nice yarn. Maybe some of that yarn you've been, that we all have. Oh, I can't use it because it's for something special. Oh, I bought it for something special. Oh, I got to keep this for something. And something special never ever shows up, does it? So I want you to look into your stash and try to find some yarn that you feel that's extra, extra special. All right, now this shawl is made out of, oops, hit the camera. One of my friends, Annette, told me about this yarn when Joanne first got it in, because I hadn't been to Joanne's in a while. She said, oh, Jay, I bought some of this basic stitch yarn, anti-peeling, from Joanne. And she says, oh, I really like it. And I said, oh, that sounds great. And I went over there and got it, and I felt it. And I guess it's like going to replace the Premier yarn. Has a nice sheen to it. It's soft for just basic inexpensive yarn. Like, it feels really nice. But now I do have to say, I don't know how when she started knitting with it, it became very fuzzy. I mean, it started to get on my nerve fuzzy, that I started taking the scissors, which is a very terrible no-no thing to do. And I started trying to trim off some of the fuzz. And guess what? I cut one of my stitches. Trying to trim off that fuzz, trim. Oh, so I had to put a little glue. So I told you my secret had to, it didn't go all the way through the stitch, thank goodness. But I did nick a stitch, and I thought, oh, man. But I did buy it in lots of colors, and I'm willing to give it a try. Maybe, sometimes a particular dye is more fuzzier than others. So I'll try it in some of the other colors. So you can't see it maybe because it's too fine on camera, but I can just pull it off right there. Look. So I thought maybe I had gotten the wrong one, but it says anti-peeling, it's supposed to have this sheen on it. But anyway, that's a yarn. That's a nice little yarn, Then here is Lions brand Touch of Alpaca. For those, because everyone is even though we're in winter, you are in a different climate, a different part of the world. But just in case, or you can use your hand dye, you can use whatever you like, but at least a number 4 weight. Just a standard number 4 weight, not heavy or thick, and not real thin. Just in the middle. In the middle, says Goldilocks. So there's that. That's the one I'm going to be working in just a minute and show you in real time. Okay, then I was over at Hobby Lobby, and this is really nice, soft and sleek. this says low peel fiber, and it's by Yarnby. Soft and sleek. That's a really pretty color, isn't it? They just have apple green, or green apple, green apple. Very pretty. You're going to need at least 2 skeins, and if you're a larger size, you may have 3. You know, since I just buy from my, local stores, I always buy in 4s. That's just something I just do out of habit. So I have 4 skeins, but you're going to need at least 2 to 3 skeins, 2 to 2.5 or 3 skeins, depending on your size or how, wide you want to make your shawl. Last but not least, these are just a few of the yarns that I'm just sharing with you. I just like to give you an idea of some that I looked at. And then here's some more of that Isaac Mizrahi that I've had for years. It was so special, I have kept it for years. Now you can't even get any to match. That's what happens when you keep yarn too long, people. When it becomes so special, you don't use it. When you do find something to use it for, you can't match it. Or it's gone. Or you've got to get on eBay and start searching. And pay jacked up prices, probably. But anyway, that's just some of the yarn that I would do this shawl in again and again. I'm going to be using most of all these yarns call for number 8. But since it's really a no gauge project, I wanted I just want a looser fit on this shawl. I didn't want the fabric to be tight with an 8. It would make the fabric, closer together. Well, so I just decided to go up and use a number 9. So, my needles of choice are bamboo because I'm older. And if you've got arthritis, back problems, wrist problems, any kind of problems, arthritis, it's just nice to work on these needles because they're easy on the joints and they're lightweight. And they're easy to get, and you can use a coupon. Now, what could be better than that? So, but I am using a number 9, and this is a 36 inch. I've got it in the package over here. All right, so now that's that. Let me show you, well, I'll come back and show you. I'm going to show you the formulas. I've written up a couple of formulas to let you see because, like I said, I'm going to give you a choice. And I think I'll show you that when I come back and show you the formula. All right, so let me take care of this, and I'll be right back. All right, I tried to always, since, like I said, I'm self-taught, and I taught myself from stitch books, I always try to help you and show you and share with you how to use the stitch books, especially if I've recommended them, so that you too can, like I said, we're not trying to start an industry. I'm not trying to be on the cover or anything. I just like to do my own little designing. Why not? It's just because only I know what I will feel good and look good in. And I can just take a stitch book and make something simple. And that's all I'm sharing with you. It doesn't take the place of patterns or books. I have tons of patterns and books. One day I'll show you some of my stock. But I always come back to what feels good and comfortable to me. And that's to get a stitch book and just look through it. Now, you've seen this stitch book, and I got this off of Amazon. There's a crochet one too. And so we've used this a lot. So you can, those that got it, that you have got your money worth. You got a lot of bang for the bucks. That's what Jay's about. Stash busting and bang for your bucks. So, all right, so when I was looking through this book, I said, oh, Lord, there's that stitch again. Like I say, I've seen this stitch so many places and in so many books because I used to use it a long time ago. It's like a little leaf stitch. But in this particular book, they just republished it and gave it a new name. They call it willow edging. Willow edging. Now, I may have to hold this up a little bit, but if you have the book, let's see if I can do it out of glare. So there's the stitch right there. You can see it looks like just some pretty little leaves. But it's kind of deceiving on the picture. It looks like a little small dainty leaf. Well, it's not. It's a huge leaf. But it's only worked over 10 stitches. So we'll start with 10 stitches, then it increases up, and then it increases down, and then you bind off so many, and then you back to the 10 stitches again. That's just a fun way, and that's why I guess I gravitate to the Bacchus. Is it Bacchus? back to style because it just flows for me. All right. So, and there's only 8 rows. So I'm going to be walking you step by step, row by row, and show you how easy it is to do this stitch. The thing of it is, though, if you did the Cocoa Mania scarf, you know, I have this propensity to, once I learn something, I like to use it again. And then I'll learn something else, and then I use that again. And it helps me to improve my skills. Like I said, I don't have a knit shop really to go to now, and all my groups are not knitting, so it just keeps me in the know and keeps me sharp. So on that scarf, I said, we're going to learn how to do double yarn overs because I used to hate them. I had nobody to really show me. You know, I would just get so confused, and then I'd lose the stitch because it's a double yarn over. It's going over around the needle twice, and I'm going to take you step by step, of course. And I said, now remember that because we're going to use it again and again. And sure enough, from that scarf, the Cocoa Mania scarf, I did a knitted poncho. I can't even remember the name of it, but you saw me wear it on the last video. I had a finish. I finished it. All right, on this leaf, we have more of double yarn overs. And if you like lace knitting, you are just going to, it's just necessary. Just like to learn on double pointed needles. You may not use them that much, you may not care for them, but it's a necessity. You need to know how to knit on those needles, and you need to know how to knit lace, and you need to know how to work or to understand double yarn overs or going around the needle twice. So here's that same stitch. We're going to just get to practice it over and over and over. Thanks, Jay. So now there's a book and there's the stitch. Now, I got busy. Let's see, can I move that now? All right. Now, since I don't have written patterns, you know, like I said, I'm self-taught, but over the years, in order to teach myself, I would do the same steps over and over. And you might notice that a lot of my videos, like, Jay, why do you knit the same thing over and over? That's how I taught myself. I just got better and better. Each time I knitted something, I could improve the layout, the formula, or the stitches, or, you know, just how I made the project. So it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm going to knit one of these again in real time. Now, I may not finish this one right away because we have other projects. We have to move on to the next project and the next tutorial on down the road. But I do come back and try to show you a finish once I do. Now, in order to keep things simple, I came up with something. I says, well, I'm just, 5 pages, 6 charts is great when you're following someone else's patterns and you want to follow them. They put out the work. But I had to come up with something simpler because I'm a visual learner. I was using a stitch book, and I came up with something I call my working formula. It's just a simple layout of what I'm going to knit in the simplest way possible, and then I follow that. So for instance, here we go on Jay's working formula. This is formula number 1. I'm going to do it this way so we don't get confused. I should have wrote them on different papers, but I wrote them all together. But I'm going to hold it up. This is Jay's working formula number 1. And I think you'll be able to read that. All right. You see this line here represents like the beginning or, where I've cast on. On this shawl, I have 2 versions. Version 1, and then I'll show you version 2 in just a minute. Each one you will cast on 27 stitches. You cast on 27 stitches and you knit 2 rows. Every size, everybody, everywhere. So, once you do that, that represents this long line right there. See that? Now, I just simply chop up that line into where I want things. I don't have to have a page. I don't have to circle any sizes. I just chop up that line how I want to knit it. So the first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to have a border. Now on this shawl, I am allowing 6 stitches for a border. On my original, I did not, but I have changed and tried to make the formulas work better for you. You know, when I'm doing a prototype, I make notes and then I say, oh, I need to change this or change that. You're getting the change ready to go version. This is your formula. If you want to do cables, if you're a seasoned knitter and you're just skill building, and you've worked with me a lot and you're like, oh, Jay, okay, oh, yeah, that's good. That's a challenge. Because the cable's going to be very simple. Not hard yet. But anyway, starting with a board of 6 stitches. And in these 6 stitches, I am putting a little lace. We'll knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1. That uses up 6 stitches. You don't have to memorize it. It's going to be laid out and you know I put it on the screen as I'm knitting. Each one of these little lines here, excuse me, I strangled myself. Each one of these represents where you'd put a stitch marker. So I have 6 stitches, and if you want to put a stitch marker there, if you're seasoned it, eventually you probably won't, but I just went ahead and put a line there. The next 6 stitches will be a cable. That's the cable at the top. And I noticed on mine it was too close to the edge, so I added more stitches. That's why. But 6 cables, just real simple, people. 6 cable 6 forward, or cable 6 front. You just split it in half when you have a number like that, unless, you're following someone else's pattern. Very simple. So this is like 101. This just gives interest and makes the shawl look just really nice. But it's not too, it's nothing to worry about. Then, in the shawl, the Bhakta style, it starts out narrow and then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grows upward. Well, I call that usually the center of the shawl, where I'm growing it up. And that's my plus, where I'm going to increase, get to the back, don't increase or decrease, just work the pattern across. And then I will decrease going down the opposite side. So that's 5 stitches. I usually always make this an odd number because it looks nice. Don't ask me why. And this is also the place that you can decide if you like a wider shawl. If you say, oh, Jay, I like that nice little shawl you have, but I like my shawls a little longer in the back. I like mine to be wider. Well, you'd simply change this number here to a 7. And that way it will grow wider and faster. Does that make sense? If you go up to 9, I think that'll be too much. So 5 or 7. If some people, that like, if you've been knitting with me or you knit shawls a lot, some people like the real skinny beginning, which this is not, but you could start with a 3. It's 3, 5, or 7. Those are my 3 numbers that I use to start shawls in this fashion. But right now I have 5 on here. Okay? Then the lace. The lace is out of the book. That's the stitch. All right, that's a given. It's 10 stitches. So that goes there. And when you add all of that up, it equals 27. I hope I added it right. So therefore, you cast on 27 stitches and knit 2 rows, and then you wait for me there. Make sense? Makes sense. Now, for those who say, Jay, I've been following you. I found your channel. Oh, so many of you comment, Jay, I just found your channel. Isn't it amazing? I used to think people were just saying that just to be nice, maybe. But I found myself doing the same thing. I could be on YouTube or something and come across someone who has lots of videos and I've never seen that person. I've been on here 6 years and I had never seen that person. How does YouTube do that? How does it hide people or keep you from... I don't understand. But so many people say, Jay, I just found your channel. And I'm like, really? I've been on here 6 years. Okay, so I welcome them and I tell them about I have a large catalog of knit and crochet projects. But as I say, since I'm not a professional knitter or designer, my things I call more common sense and just everyday knitting, or for the everyday knitter who just wants to improve your skills. That's all. So that's what brings me to number 2. Jay, I've done some of your other things, but now I don't want to do the cable and the lace, and that lace looks hard, and I'm not sure, and it will be a little hard at first, but once you get the rhythm, you'll be fine. So I took off the cable for this person, and let me see on my, yep, for this person who's just doing some skill building and just want to not have to worry about the cable and the lace. It will still turn into a beautiful shawl. I'll show you in just a minute. But we're just going to take the cable out. You'll have to knit across those stitches, but we won't do a cable. So let's go again. You're going to have 6 stitches for that border. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1. Then a marker. Then you just knit all the way across. You don't have to put another marker until you get to the lace. The last 10 stitches on this cast on is 10, and that represents the lace. Does that make sense? So you have a nice little border, then you'll knit, 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 knit. Slide the marker, do the lace. Come back, do the lace, knit, 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 and, knit off the border. So you can concentrate on the lace and trying to, like I said, enjoy the process of double yarn overs and just knitting simple lace. How about that? So now there are 2 formulas. Just to recap, formula number 1, this is the original with the lace. Oops, got the wrong edge. We'll be starting on this edge. This is, see, you'll be knitting a border, then the cable, then the center where we will increase, and then all this flounce. See, when I spread it open, it really has a pretty flounce. But you see how large the holes are? I'm going to bring it up. That's the double lace. That's the double yarn overs. All right. Now, number 2 is the one I'm going to work in real time, and it will look like this. Be just as pretty, but you won't have to worry about the cables. And I'm doing this in that alpaca because I knew I would never wear a sweater in this. But I'm trying to learn and build my skills and trying to use some of the yarns. But you can see, and oops, I just keep hitting the camera. Is that too dark? Maybe if I move this. But this is number 2. See, there's no cable. You'll start here on the edge and work across. Now, I'd made a little faux pas on this one. I knit, before I decided to put this little edge, I had knit up this far. Then I decided to put this edge. Well, I didn't want to go all the way back. So I'm making it a design feature. And I'll show you when it's all done how my little mistake, because I didn't start, you see that little edging there? I decided that at the last minute. And I had worked, I don't know how many inches up. You can see. But it will work out fast. But you're going to get it right from the start. You will get it down here. But I didn't want to take that out. But there you have it. You can do, I hate to say beginner because of the yarn overs. It's not really a beginner. If you're a beginner knitter, this is not for you. I will do another something for you. Something special too. But there's that. So does that help? Does that make sense? Are you going to be excited? And so, let me show you the last one, and then we're going to get to stitching. Here is the one that I will demonstrate the stitches on. This was some alpaca, some, I don't know, some, no, it might be some merino superwash. Just something I bought somewhere at Tuesday morning or something. I had one little skein, and I thought, well, that'll make a great practice piece because of the stitch definition and the color. You can see it on the screen as I'm going to work it. I'll bring it a little closer. Can you see how everything pops out? Now, this is what you will be, this is where you will start. Down here at the bottom, you can see that little edge I put in there. Then I moved the cable over because it was too close to the neck on the one that I was wearing. So I moved it over. There's the cable, look how it pops. Then there's the center that increases. And then voila, there are your leaves or your lace. There's your lace flounce right there. So that's where we are. That's where we're going to begin. I will get ready to set up and we will stitch. And just like I said, cast on every one everywhere, cast on 27 stitches and knit 2 rows on a number 9 circular needle, at least 36 inches to accommodate the stitches. I can't think of anything else. I will be back in just a minute. As just before we get started, you had a chance to look at the information sheet. I try to give you a little information sheet just to recap things I've said and maybe things that I didn't say and that you need to know. And one of the things that I didn't say when we were just talking, as you get ready to start working on a project, there are 2 increases in the shawl. And I put the increase, since I designed it and you design yours, whatever, I put my increases on row 1 and row 5. That's for either version 1, formula 1, or formula 2. On the cable on the one with the cable, formula number 1, working formula number 1, the one that has a cable, on row 5 is where I put the cable. So you'll increase on row 1, and then you'll do a cable on row 5 and then increase on row 5. The others, everyone else would just increase on row 1 and 5. I was just trying to make sure I cleared that up, or if you had a question. All right, so then I didn't say, of course, the ones who are going to do the cable, you're going to need a cable needle. Now, some of you have been knitting a lot longer than me, and you can cable without the needle, and that's great, but I just don't want to have to do all that, and then I'm very bad about losing stitches. So you have a choice of a cable. This is a traditional cable needle. It's usually shaped like this, or there's another little plastic one that kind of dips in, but a cable, you'll need something to hold the stitches when we work the cable. A lot of times, I just use a short bamboo, just a little short bamboo to hold it in back or in front or whatever. But this space is so small, like I said, if you can do it without one, be free to do whatever you do. But when the space is really tiny and small, sometimes I'll use my safety pin, but I've been sticking myself lately. But here's something that you can just pick up anywhere, and I'll show you how simple and easy it makes to just pick up something like a large paper clip. Now, I like the ones that have color on them because they're nice and smooth. And that's just because it's going to be a little tight space here and there are not that many stitches. So I tried to go as simple as possible. So now, let's see, is there anything else? I told you about the increases and the extra tools. Let's get started. All right, let me make sure I'm on camera. I'm just using this practice yarn. Let's see if I can throw it maybe back here so it won't... I was trying to put it somewhere that it will roll and yet not roll all over the place. Oh, I got it right here. All right, I got it over to the side. I'm good to go now. All right, I am working. This is going to be the cable version because I'll tell the other, your second formula, you're just going to knit right on across. All right, on working formula number 1. Now you're down here, and I'm up here because I have to be ahead so that I can call out the rows. We're going to take each row and each stitch. so that you can go back and refer to it at any time, and that it will hopefully it'll make sense. But you can see you've knit 2 rows and you're ready to go on the right side. You will need 2 or 3, 4 markers. Just have some little markers out there. Have different colors. I like to have red for my lace, so I'll know where the lace starts. I put 2 little white ones to represent the cable. Can you see that? I hope that's showing up. So that I won't be flying after a while. Once you get in a rhythm, you just get to flying and you think, oh gosh, I just ran past my cable. That tells me, stop, Jay, there's something there. All right, let's start. All right, now there are 8 rows and row 1 is the right side. Let me get my needle here. Well, the lace is way on the other end, so we're going to do all our other work before we get to the lace. All right. Going by my working formula, I'm going to knit 6 stitches. So I just knit, I do my little border. I knit 3. It's the first 6 stitches, remember? Then yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. And then knit 1 stitch. That's your first 6 stitches, 2, 4, 6. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and then knit 1. Now you can slide, if you're going to have a marker there for your cable, you slide the marker. This is row 1. So I don't have to do the cable. I only do the cable on row 5. But I'm calling out row 1 so that you'll know. Let me just go across and I'll show you. So I just simply knit on this row 1 that we're getting started, that you're down here at the bottom. We don't do the cable, and you're going to see we can't do the increase yet because we're just starting. But I'm just setting it up where you're going to put your markers. So I knit across. The cable is knit on the front, purl on the back. Now I'll put another marker so I'll know where the cable is right between those 2 markers. Makes sense? Should be 6 stitches. 2, 4, 6. All right, let's go. Now I need to, of course you have 5 stitches. You can see I have more because I've worked a few rows. So now I will knit across the center, getting to my lace marker. That's where I'm trying to get. This is a stitch we will increase into, the 1 stitch right before the marker. But since we are on row 1, you're down here on row 1, we can't increase. We'll have to start the increase on row 5. Don't let it confuse you. I'm going to walk you through it. So I simply knit that stitch and slide the marker. Now I'm in the lace. The lace is 10 stitches to start. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It will grow and then go back down to 10. Let me read row 1 of the lace. It says knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, yarn over 2 times or double yarn over, then knit 2 stitches together. Then you repeat, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and you'll end with a knit 1. Now let me show you how it looks. Really easy. This is knit 3. You're going to start every row with a knit 3, and you're going to end, let's just start. Knit 3, all right? Yarn over. Just bring the yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Now, here we go. Here's a double yarn over. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Then it says repeat. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and knit 1. You're here, and you are just getting started. You're going to turn the work, and this is the wrong side. You may not have room right now to put a wrong side marker in, but once we work a few more stitches, even though a seasoned knitter will know you're on the wrong side, but I try to go ahead and make it a habit so that newer knitters will go ahead and get used to it and do it. So you can just somewhere, like say you're down here, so you don't have a whole lot, but I'm going to go ahead so that you'll see it and you'll remind yourself. Just take a crochet hook and a little piece of contrasting yarn and do it just like a piece of fringe. You know how you pull the little legs through, just like that. Doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be on this side. Just like that. Alright, so now row 2, the wrong side. Here's the lace. There's the center, and there's the beginning. On the lace, on this end, it's knit 3 again. Knit 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now this is where I want you to take your time. Every time you do the double yarn overs, the next row is a row that will give you problems if you try to fly through it. You have to watch every stitch because we're going to be working into those double yarn overs. So let me just back out of that stitch just so you can see it. It says on row 2, knit 3. So I've knit 1, 2, here's 3. It's into the yarn over. Now pull that off slowly. Remember from that scarf, and then that stitch stays on. Now, purl 1 into that long strand. That's part of the yarn over. Purl. Then it says knit 2. So I knit 1 stitch. Watch every stitch. Don't take your eye off of it. That's knit. Now watch, there's a long one. Knit the next stitch. Be careful. Watch it. See? That would have jumped off because now I have to purl 1. Then yarn in back, knit 2. So that sequence, if you look on the screen, it says after you knit 3, you purl 1, knit 2. Then it says do it again. Purl 1, knit 2. Now, I yarn over and I knit 2 stitches together and I end the row by knitting the last stitch. At the end of this row, I give you the number at the end of each row so that you can make sure, for those who maybe like the security of just knowing how many stitches you're supposed to have just in the lace section. Okay, so I should have 12 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Just in the lace. Okay, now I slide the marker. And I just simply knit over to the next marker. This is that center section that we have not started to increase in yet. So I'm just going to knit over. I see the marker. And I know that this is the cable for those that are doing the cable. I almost put my yarn in the back there. Don't do that. I mean in the like yarn over. Okay. Now I see the marker. I can see those 6 stitches. So for the cables, you knit on the front, purl on the back. So my yarn needs to come in the front, slide the marker. Now I purl 6 stitches. These are the 6 stitches that once I get to row 5, we will start the cable or put the cable. Now, there's the 6 stitches for the neck. The yarn needs to go in the back because I need to knit those last 6 stitches. And there's that yarn over. Just knit that yarn over and all the other stitches. Alright. I hope it's not confusing. That's why it's on the screen. Just take your time. And you know, sometimes it's easy if you just hit the sound button and turn the sound off and just watch my hands. You know, if you know, sometimes it gets kind of hard to watch and knit and listen. Alright, now row 3. Okay. Row 3. Did I even read row 2? I don't remember if I read row 2. Yeah, I guess I did. Okay. Well, I read it when I was doing it. Alright, row 3 says Well, let's get over to the lace first. All right, let's knit 1, 2, 3. Knit 3. This is the little neck border. Knit 3, okay. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and then knit 1. There's that little border with the little eyelet row. You see it? Now, all right, it's not row 5, so I know I'm not going to do the cable, so all I have to do is knit across. People who are not doing cable, you're just knitting across. After you do this little border, you just knit across to the next marker with us. So you go over. I've knit across the cable. I slide the marker. Now I knit to the lace. Got a lot of parts going on here, but it pops out. Look, it pops out so nice. You will not. You won't be lost. Like, where am I? Until you get to those double yarn overs. Okay, and I'm going to slow it down as we do them. Alright, now I know since this is not row 1 and it's not row 5 for an increase, so I'm not increasing into that last stitch, so I just go ahead and knit it. Now I'm up to, I have a special marker to tell me I'm up to the lace. This is row 3 of the lace. Row 3, the right side says knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 2, and then yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Do it again. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, in with a knit 1. So let's go. It says knit 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. Now yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, knit 2, 1, 2. All right, and here comes the double yarn overs. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. And then knit 1. And you can see the big holes just pop out. All right. Let me get some yarn, return the work. Now we're on row 4, the wrong side. See, it really goes fast once you get a little rhythm, but I'm trying to be careful so I can. Now, row 4 is a row you need to watch out for because we have to take these yarn overs off, and we just want to be real careful. So you start out with knit 3, so that helps you to kind of settle down. Before you do anything special, you knit 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, now look at the screen. It says purl 1, but now watch, I got that long strand, so I bring my yarn in front and purl that long part of the yarn over. Careful when you take anything off, nothing comes off that shouldn't. It didn't. Yarn in back. Now knit 2 stitches. 1. I can see that yarn over. See, hold it. 2. There's a long strand. Now look, it's on the screen. It says now purl 1. So I have to put the yarn back in front and purl through that long strand. That's where all your purls will fall, in the long strand of the double yarn overs. Now yarn in back and knit 4 stitches. Look at the screen. 1, here's 2, here's 3, and 4. Careful. Watch make sure nothing comes off. Okay. Now yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and then knit 1. You should have 14 stitches at the end after working. So we can just count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Alright, now I slide my marker. I'm done with the lace. Here's just that center section. We haven't increased or done anything in this little section yet, but we are about to. But I'm on the wrong side, so all I have to do is just knit over to the next marker. See how nice it is just to know. Okay, I'm on the wrong side. Knit over to the marker. This marker represents the cable. On the wrong side, I knit on the front, and I put my yarn and I purl on the back. So I put my yarn in front, slide the marker, and I purl those 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I have to put the yarn in the back. You have to remember to put it in the back or you'll get an extra stitch. Then you slide the marker and you knit the last 6 stitches off this needle. Just knit it off. You don't have to do anything special. Only on the right side. That is row 4. And it's the row, if you have any problems, that's going to be one of the rows that's going to kind of like, oh man, what have I done? But if you take it slow and just get into the rhythm, you'll be fine. Now let's look at our work. All right, we have our nice border. We're about to do row 5. Row 5, we're going to start the cross, or you're going to start your cable right here. You're down here. So you're just getting to this point. But now you can see how it's going to look as it moves up. So we'll do the cable. Then we'll go over to this marker. And then we will make our first increase. And I'm going to show you another increase. I had a lot of problems with holes. So I reached back and found one I used to do a long time ago. So I think you'll catch on to it. So at the beginning, I have to knit 3. 1, 2, 3. The reason I made this little border and it starts with 3 because this lace started with 3 and it ends when you turn it around, you knit 3. And so it helps me to keep things that I can remember or that flows. So knit 3, okay, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Now knit 1. Now slide the marker. Okay, we're in cable zone. All right, in the cable zone, this is not the lace. There's the lace. This is just a cable. It says to C6F. Okay, cable 6 forward or front. So this is when you'd either grab this big cable thing and do that, and you're going to pull off 3 and hold it in the front, and then you can put it back just like this. You can kind of hold it, but like I said, that one's so big for me. There are other ones for small spaces like this. I grab up this little paper clip, 1, 2, 3, open it up, but leave some bend in it like that, and I just lay it down. Hold it in the front. Then I knit the next 3 off the needle. 1, 2, and 3, and I tug a little bit. Now I put my stitches back on. So I simply, with this large paper clip, I lift up on the stitch, I lift it onto the needle, and I put them back on. Some people are good enough to do it without a needle, or they can, there's just so many ways. Now I knit those 3 stitches. 1, see, it gets really tight in here, but it will loosen up. Don't worry, just don't drop anything. 2, 3. There's my cable. You're down here, and your cable is going to start to twist. All right. I slide the marker. The next thing that I see that on row 5 is I have to knit over to this marker and do my first increase, because we couldn't increase on row 1 when we started, so we had to skip that one. So here I go. I just knit across. You only have 5 or 7. Okay. Of course, then, if you increased to 7, you had to re-add it, so your stitch count would have gone up to, 29, not 27. Alright, so I come up to the last marker, and this is what I want you to do. I was knitting into the front and the back, but I kept getting a hole. I thought, oh man. Okay, so then I started to lift the bar and do a make one like that. And I got a hole. No, what is wrong with me? So I went back to something that they showed us a long time ago. I don't know, I just hadn't used it. But look right here. I'm going to try to bring it so you can see it. Alright, here's the last stitch before the marker. And there is not this strand between, this long strand, but there's a strand that crosses the stitch. See it? Right there. Lift that strand up and just like this, put it onto that needle. I like to give it a little pull and then just knit that stitch and knit the last stitch. I've just increased, so you've gone from 5 to 6, or from, Now, I slide the marker. I am in the lace zone for row 5. Now, row 5 reads, on the lace, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, knit 4, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Do it again. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and end with a knit 1. So here we go, row 5. I knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then I do a yarn over and I knit 2 stitches together, just like that. Now I'm going to knit 4 stitches. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, here we go. Double yarn overs. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. And then knit 1. That's what I'd say every time I get to that row. Okay, well, I hope I can get through row 6. Okay, so when we turn to work, we're on row 6. That means we have to take those yarn overs off. Row 6 is one you have to be careful on also. You have to watch every stitch so that things don't just jump off. Alright, so row 6, the back. Well, I guess I should read it. I think I keep forgetting to read the back side. Knit 3, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, knit 6, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, knit 1. But that's why I have it on the bottom of the screen too, if I forget to actually read it. But like I say, you're my seasoned knitters. You know what, you know how to follow it. So knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. All right, now it's be careful. Watch your stitch. Don't pull in. Okay, there's a long strand. It says purl 1, so I purl into that strand, that long. Slowly take it off. Next thing is look on the screen. Knit 2. So I do 1, 2. You have to go slow and be careful taking off. Hold it. Okay. Now purl 1 again through that long strand that it didn't come off. Stop. Now yarning back, it says knit 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now do a yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and knit 1. Now we can go. Alright, now slide the marker. Right here, we just knit across till we get to the cable stitches. So now I'm just knitting across. Okay, I'm up to the cable stitches because I see the marker. Knit on the front, purl on the back. So I need to bring my yarn to the front, slide the marker. Now I'm ready to purl. Knit on the front for the cable and purl on the back. I'm on the back. So I purl those 6 stitches. The cable is in stockinette stitch. Most everything else is in garter stitch. So I purl and purl. Now I need to stop, put the yarn in back, slide this marker, and I need to just knit those last 6 stitches. Okay, just make sure you don't let anything fall off your needle. Take your time. Now I'm going to turn the work. You're down here, but here you go. But as you start to work and you see one leaf coming into existence, all right, so now we're on the right side. All right, smooth sailing pretty much now. Row 7, okay? Row 7. Let me get over there to the lace first, I guess. I keep forgetting. Look, I'm ready to go. All right, we have to take care of our little border. So knit 3. So everything matches. Yarn over. Knit 2 stitches together. Knit 1. Okay. Slide the marker. We just did the cable. You don't have to worry about the cable again to row 5 again. So I just knit. I could have put this cable anywhere on the pattern. Row 5 was just a nice place to put it with that 1 increase there. So I knit across those 6 stitches. See it? Slide the marker and continue to knit across. Those without a cable, you're just knitting across. You do the little border and then you just knit on over. That way you can concentrate on your lace stitches and trying to make sure that you've hidden every stitch. So I just knit right on over. Okay, this is row 7 and there is no increase, so I can just knit that stitch. Now let me read row 7. Row 7, the right side of this lace says knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, knit 11. And that's all? Yeah. Oh, this is a nice one. Slide the marker. Let's go. Knit 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yarn over. Now knit 2 stitches together. Now before I even go through knitting that 11, I stop. This is my checkpoint. I stop and see if I have 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 11. So I go all the way through and then not have the 11 there. So now I can just knit up those 11 stitches. Easy peasy. Just knit right on over. All right. Ta-da! I turn the work and I am on row 8. The last row of the pattern, and it's a simple bind off row. That's row 7. That's just part of, did I put a yarn over in there? I hope I didn't. If I did, I will have to take that out. Oh, that's good. I'll show you maybe when we get there that I must have didn't move my yarn or something. I got a little yarn over, look like. But we'll come take care of that when we come to it. All right. Row 8. It happens. Row 8, let me read it because this is very important. Row 8 is your bind off row. You're going to bind off 6 stitches. You're going to bind off 6 stitches. Then you will knit 6 stitches. Then yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and then you'll end with a knit 1. So let's do that. So I need to bind off, so I'm going to knit 1 and I'm going to knit 2. Stop. Reach back and bind off really loose, kind of tug at it to loosen it up. That's 1 stitch. Here we go. Reach back, that's 2. That's 3. That's 4. Here's 5. And here is 6. Now, for some reason I would always get distracted. If you get distracted and you can't remember, did I bind off 6? I can't remember. Oh, I looked up, I was watching something. Oh, mercy. Okay, there should be 10. Let's count our stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and with this one on this needle makes 10. So you should have 10 stitches, and you know that you bound off 7 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and this one makes 10. So now I can continue with the pattern. I've bound off 6, so now I knit 6. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I do a yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, just like that, and just simply knit 1. Slide the marker, and let's go over here and just knit. And I got to find out why I got that hole. It's not from the increase, because the increase is right here by this marker. So you might say, oh, did you increase wrong? No, the increase is always on this side by the lace. So for some reason I didn't. We'll see when we get there. Okay, so I'm knitting back, and I'm going to do some investigation. I get up to where I see that stitch, I turn it. Sometimes there's always a little hole by your cable, but that's not in the cable. That's 2, 4, 6. There's them 6. So I have no idea what. I don't have any idea, so I'm going to turn to the front and see if I can go back and pick up a stitch. Sometimes if you just get a crochet hook, I can get a little crochet hook. Let's see if that's it. Alright, let's go. So now I turn it and I knit. I guess I just dropped it. Okay, now I'm going to the cable stitches, but I have to bring my yarn in front. Maybe that was what I didn't do. Maybe I didn't change my yarn when I was knitting the cable. I don't know. But now I'm purling on the wrong side of the cable stitch. I still have a little bit of hole. I have to figure out what happened there. Slide my marker and knit these last stitches. Okay, so we have just completed rows 1 through 8, and if you can't figure it out, don't panic. We can always just close that up later to figure out. If it doesn't come to my mind, like, well, what did I do? I wouldn't worry about it. It's in the center. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the cable. So I'll just take a little piece of yarn and tighten that up and not even worry. Because this is the most important, that you have your leaf and that you didn't drop any double yarn overs, because it's so hard to kind of get it back in sequence. But let me tell you this, just FYI. All right, so now you're going to start working. We're back at row 1. We're back at the top now. Row 1, we will have to increase. Remember, we increase on row 1 and row 5. So when we get to this stitch here, should I do row 1 again? I don't know how much time I got on that tape, but let's just do it. I don't mind helping. I want you to be comfortable So we start here and we knit those 3, yarn over. I'm just going to go zoom through it. Knit 2 stitches together, knit 1. There's a cable, but it's not row 5, so all I have to do is knit across the cable. Just knit across like this. There's the cable stitches. Slide the marker. Here's that center, and I'm working my way over so I can do my increase on row 1. You couldn't increase on the first time you did row 1, so we're going to do it this time. I think I just dropped a stitch. I think I didn't. Seems like I dropped a stitch there. But don't take it loose and go, oh, Jay, we'll tighten it up with a little piece of yarn, some of our little scrap yarn. We'll take a needle and just, sometimes people, you have to use a little wisdom to save your arms and hands. And okay, so I'm coming up to that last stitch before the marker. See it right there? That's the one I want to increase into. But we're not going to do a knit into the front and back. We're not going to make one, but we are going to lift up that piece of strand. See it right there? It comes across that stitch. We're going to lift that up, that loop up, and put it onto the needle like that. Now pull it tight and knit each stitch. And now I'm up to row 1 of the lace. Row 1 reads, I'm going to read it real quick again. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together. Again, yarn over, knit 2 together, and then knit 1. So here we go. Knit 1, 2, 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. I hope I'm on camera. Knit 2 stitches here. I kept walking that way. Okay, now here we go for 2 yarn overs. Yarn over, hold it with your thumb if you have to. Yarn over. Now knit 2 stitches together. Got to do it again. Okay, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, and end with a knit 1. Ta-da! Return the work, and that will make us on row 2, but we had just finished row 1 again, and we did the increase. So except for my little faux pas here, and you would take a little piece of scrap yarn later on at the end, and on the wrong side you just kind of weave that, just take a yarn needle, and just weave that closed. I would not don't panic and start taking stuff out. But what I was going to tell you, if you make a big faux pas over here in the lace and you drop something, you've just, Jay, I messed up. All right, then you will take the stitches off the needle and pull it back slowly to this row where we did the bind off. Alright, so I've charged my camera back up, and as I was doing so, I thought about just going ahead and pulling back so that I can show you how a mistake somewhere in this area, you just simply fix it on the wrong side. But if you do have a mistake and you really throw off the lace or this leaf stitch, then the easiest way to fix it is just to go ahead and pull it out. Pull it off the needles, and I'm going to show you how to stay calm, don't panic, and just pull back. Alright, I had already started pulling some back, and I thought, oh, I got to put it on camera. So I just simply take your needle out and your markers. Now be careful and don't pull real hard. Now I have my work right there. I've taken the needle off. Okay, all you do is take time. What you want to do is to get back. Remember I said this row where we did the bind off? Well, that is row 8, and it's a wrong side row. And we have the wrong side marked, so that helps right away. So I'm just simply going to, let me just turn it, and slowly pull these stitches out till I can get back to that one stitch right here, right at the bind off. So you slowly, and I'm going to turn and see if I'm on the side that I need to be on. If that stitch, it'll stand up by itself. You'll see it stand up so that you'll know that you are on. There's the last bind off stitch right there. You see the row. I'm on the wrong side, so this surely is row 8. So now I'm going to take my needle. I've pulled back now all those rows. Once you see it, then you'll see the mistake, then pull back to row 8, the bind off. Stick my needle in. Now I'm going to slowly follow the yarn back. This is when it takes a little practice and a little time and good light. If you just take your time and you're just going to pull the yarn out as you go. The only thing is just watch for any yarn overs right here on this little, on that center section there. Now watch. Let's see if we can grab that yarn over. See right there. See how it comes from underneath. How you just pick up that. When you're picking up stitches and you're really trying to save something, don't worry if you're picking up from the back or the front or from the front. The whole point is to grab the stitch. You can straighten it out later. Just get it on the needle and then continue to pull. Just follow the yarn back all the way. Just follow that yarn back. Now it gets a little easier. You can spread it out and you can kind of see, okay, I'm picking them up. Okay, Jay said, don't panic. You know, of course, I'll be honest, sometimes I've had to go just take things like, oh man. But if you can save it, save it. If it's in the lace. If it's somewhere else, a little something you can just clean up with a little yarn needle and yarn, fine. Okay, now I'm coming over. I can tell that I'm over in that cable area. We'll put our stitch markers back in. You'll be surprised how easy, because you've been doing the stitch, so you'll be able to put the stitch markers back. But take your time when you come to any place like that row of eyelets to find that yarn over. So I pull slowly and I see where, there it is. Okay, I just follow that yarn back till I get to the last stitch, and then you can breathe. Now we're going to start counting, and so when I turn the work, you can start here and count. You can tell where you are. Let's just look at it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's the lace. It's supposed to be 10 stitches. I'm not too concerned about the middle because we've added stitches, but you can come up to where the purl stitches start. 2, 4, 6. It's supposed to have 6 there, and then 2, 4, 6. So now I know that once I turn the work, I have to be on row 1 because row 8 was the bind off row, the wrong side. So now I can start back knitting and putting in my stitch markers. So let's go. We knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over. Knit 2 stitches together. Okay? Knit 2 stitches together and then knit 1. 2, 4, 6. Put the right marker right there. Alright? You can definitely see the next 6 stitches that belong to the cable. So 1, 2, and there's a late night train, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, so I can put the other marker there. Okay, I'm not going to worry about the center. Just knit across till we can get to the lace. Unless there's a hole or some kind of big gap or some stitch that you miss, you should be able to just knit across. And there should be 10 stitches. When you finish row 8, you should be back at 10 stitches. So starting here we know that was where we bound off. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So my red marker or my special marker goes there. Now on row 1, because I have to be on the right side, so it says knit 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. Okay, then there's a yarn over, knit 2 stitches together. I'm reading row 1. Yarn over, knit 2 stitches together, knit 1, and I'm back in business. I made a correction, I pulled it out, I got back to a safe row, and the best one to work with is this one where we did the bind off. Now, row 1, and then I turn, I'll be on row 2, and yes, I may have, I have a deficit of 8 rows, but at least I didn't lose it all, and neither will you, as long as you don't panic. You have to problem solve, and you can do it. Now, real quick, I just want to come on while I had a little bit. I thought, well, let's see if I can make the correction on camera. Let you know that knit happens. All right, on the real shawl now, real quick, let me just go ahead and let's get to the end and just show you what to look for and what you're going to do. All right, on this shawl, when I did the other shawls, like the teacher shawls and the others, they were the long. I'd go up 12, and then maybe I'd go across the back. I'd increase up to 12 counting. This is what you count. You count your little points. So if I go up 12, then I would have gone across 13 or so for the back, or you could have gone more, as long as it's an odd number, and then 12 down. On this one, I want it to be more of a crescent. I don't want the back to be quite as long. I want the back to be the same or one repeat less, perhaps. So if, for instance, if I counted 12 of these points and I increased all the way up to, my shoulder or what, up to my neck, increase, then stop the increase, and then go across the back. Do the same number or either one less. Repeat, depending on how short you want your shawl. I think I just did 12 up, 12 across the back. Not an odd, I didn't even do the odd number, just 12 across the back. And that gives it more of the crescent shape than the elongated shape that I normally do. Now let me see if that's on camera. Let me back out. There we go. You see, because I'll leave the back, it won't be as long as some of the other shawls I've done. See how much shorter this one is? So you would go across the back, the same number. If you can't remember anything, just do the same number. If you go up 12, then just go across the back 12. With no increases or anything. Then you start the decrease down. And the decrease is just, that is, when you come to rows 1 and row 5 to decrease, you stop 2 stitches before the marker and knit 2 stitches together. 2 stitches before the marker and then just knit 2 stitches together. Your decrease. Row 1 and on row 5. Go all the way down till you have the same number of these little points, these leaves. And then to finish up, you will knit 2 rows because we started with a knit 2 row. We cast on and we knit 2 rows. You will knit 2 rows and then bind off. Voila, you're done. Knit the last 2 rows and then bind off. Just really easy. Let's see, maybe I'll turn it this way. And it makes a nice, just a really nice knit. It's a fun knit. It's a nice knit. It's a skill building knit. But I guarantee you, once you finish it, you're going to want to do this one again. You're going to go, man, I want to do that again. Don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes happen. You're building, you're building, you're building. Now, if you do beautiful tassels, then, you know, put you on some really pretty tassels at the end. I just did some fringe just to have something. And I might put one of my little, remember my little hanging beads that sometimes I hang on there. That would be real pretty. But you can put that on the very edge. It just adds a little something to it. So, I have one in progress that I will work on and do a finished video at another date because, you know, I have other things in the pipe. So there's that one. And this one finishes up just the same. The only thing when you finish this one, instead of having the cable at the neck, you will be able to roll this back and form the collar. You will just roll it back, and when I do finish it, I will wear it. It will roll back into a nice collar at the neck. Let's see if that's on camera. Can you see that? Oh, isn't that pretty? This is that alpaca that I bought, and I didn't know really what to make with it, but I'm very glad that I thought of this shawl. I don't think that's going to itch or bother me. And like I said, since we did not put the cable on this one, you will be able to roll back a collar once you're done. And you may have to tack it. I'll wait till I finish it and then show you how, in case I have to tack a little bit on the wrong side or something to make sure that collar stays in place. I don't think I want to steam it down. I'd want to tack it. Well, what do you think about that? What do you think about this process? What do you think about learning how to just take, using that stitch from the stitch book, from start to finish, to make this beautiful, simple shawl that I think you will get a lot of wear out of it, because it is just it's the kind of piece that that would just go with anyone's wardrobe. It would go with jeans and a nice little shirt, or it would go with a little nice dress. It would go with a pencil skirt. It would go with even if I had on my sweatpants, you know, and a cute little, my white top or whatever. So it is a nice piece that I think that will get lots of wear. It's easy to care, and I think you'll get lots of compliments. Well, it's the new year, and we've got new things to make. I hope you give this one a try. And of course, send me some pictures. Send me 2 or 3 shots. And this year, I really want you to be creative in your pictures. You know, instead of doing it on your bed, be creative. Set up a little vignette, or if you have some pretty flowers, or if you had a pretty little statue, or, you know, be creative so we can see the best at your best. And I can share it with our friends on the YouTube. This is Jay. This is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam 2020. I am so happy to get this one in the books, and now I'm starting on something new. So, as you start the project and work on this, I will be working on something new to bring to you. And like I said, Happy New Year. So till next time, see ya.